Hello, welcome to Code with Brylie. We're going to be working on the open source Western Friend website today. I'm working on a task to upgrade our website to the latest changes in Wagtail CMS version 6. They are deprecating a component we use to manage content models that are defined either from Django or Wagtail page models. And the component has been moved into its separate repository and will no longer be, maintained by the Wagtail core developers. So I need to figure out how to use what are called, generic listings. So we're doing a bit of maintenance. And there's a version 6.1 update I've recently done, and now the 6.1.1 hotfix sort of patch level changes have been made. And what we're looking at is universal listings, I think, is the direction that Wagtail's CMS is going. And we can check out this it's a long webinar, email newsletter. New in Wagtail 6. Universal listings. They're making major design improvements to page listings. Now they'll provide a unified search and filtering interface for all listings. It'll improve navigation capabilities, particularly for sites with a large number of pages or where content tends to use a flat structure, which we don't. This is one of the problems. We have a nested structure. They also hope to roll out this interface across all areas of the CMS for consistent experience. So they are doing it stepwise, and that might mean it doesn't apply to all of our content types currently. They prioritize pages and snippets, but in 6.1, I think you can now use them for Django models. A lot of our content types are basically Wagtail pages, so that's good. And then having a unified architecture and code allows them to make more major improvements on usability, including things like right to left text support. So it's a good move architecturally, and they've done it incrementally, so we can sort of migrate there over time. They did take this core Wagtail model admin package out of the Wagtail core and into a third-party module. So I've installed that. We're still using it, but I need to get on the main branch, and I couldn't do it in the 6.0 release. 6.1, it might be possible. So let's try that today. Wagtail is just a really great CMS. I've had a great developer experience. They have first-class focus on usability and accessibility. In the developer documentation is great. The community is very helpful. So yeah, I don't have any complaints. I was a bit frustrated at how they how this universal listing thing was handled, how they deprecated the model admin, but I'm past that, and hopefully we'll be able to get in line with the way it's working now. One of the things is they have this concept of a snippet, and I think it was initially they were thinking about shoehorning everything to being a snippet, and that didn't seem like a really good approach to me. Sorry, I've got the sniffles today. Allergies, I think. It's pollen season here. So I need to actually go to the admin guide. And we can take a look at the roadmap, but I don't want to get too off the beaten path here. And I'm not really active in the discussion, so I don't know exactly what's going on in the roadmap. But yeah, I mean, it's great work. There's a lot of work that's going into Wagtail, and they're doing it with great care. Gasman, Matt Westcott, he's really active, very helpful in the Stack Overflow and community channels. Let's go to the dev docs, though. Interesting, they got a roadmap. 6.1, that's where we are. Admin interface accessibility improvements, auto locking for pages, universal listings continued, autosave support, background workers, and Wagtail space organization. Interesting, Wagtail. But well, I'm getting off the beaten path. Developer guide is where I need to go. Okay, so one of the things I need to do, if I run the code here, I can show you what this looks like. We got some deprecations, Wagtail 7 deprecations, widgets with script. Use external scripts. That's from one of their internal packages. Then we'll open up the site. We'll go to the Wagtail admin. We're running 6.1, but it should notice, 6.1.1 has been released. So yeah, all this is generated by Wagtail. It's really cool. It's sort of like WordPress for Django. It's the way I think of it. And you kind of you customize this interface declaratively. You define your Wagtail models in your Django code, and you say this needs to go in the menu here. For example, what I'm looking for. Well, I've got this. I've torn out one of my sections I was looking for. Our community menu has all these submenus. If I click on meetings, it takes me to this meetings listing, and I can add and manage them here. So what I'm thinking is, I have a bunch of just like fairly generic listing views that have the just regular Wagtail create, read, update, delete kind of interactions, and they are not necessarily hierarchically organized. Wagtail does have a page tree, and there's like a root of the site, and everything is hierarchically organized in that tree. So these are all of these nodes, these content pieces live at one particular branch of that tree. So I think if I start here, I'll be in better shape. I kind of went directly into a place that's one of our more complicated areas, called our magazine. And I think that was a little bit of a mistake. So I'm going to just revert these changes. It was an experiment to see what would be involved. And I'll start with something more conventional like the store, for example. So let's go ahead and I'll be right back. Excellent. So Wagtail admin view sets model, and we'll get the Wagtail view sets documentation here. So get started, play with the code, git pod, build your first site. I just need the documentation, developer docs. Yeah, all right. Page models, writing templates, how to use images and templates, search, snippets, third-party modules for editors. All right, now page listings is what I'm looking for. Page models, snippets, stream field for mixed content, permissions. We've gone through most of this. This project's actually been under development for about 5 years. Images, documents, icons, embedding content, deployment, rationalization, customizing, third-party tutorials. Why doesn't it tell me how to, or maybe I'm missing customizing Wagtail? Like, how do you manage this site? Content, admin views, generic views. There we are, extending Wagtail. This is what disagree with, but I think I'm about to get frustrated again. Using snippets, Wagtail provides ready-made views for listing, creating, and editing Django models with minimal configuration. For other kinds of admin views that don't fit this pattern, you can write your own. Because these snippets, they appear under like a snippets menu. Like settings, like snippets or something. It was just weird. It was like a awkward interface that they kind of was originally designed for, like reusable content, like a footer that you would reuse across something, or like literally a snippet, like a small bit of something that you copy and paste around the site. And somehow there was a bit of collateral damage when they switched over to this generic views thing. I hope that the project is overall back on course to not make everyone use snippets. I don't want to get off too much into that, but it was kind of strange. For other kinds of admin views, don't fit this pattern. You can write your own Django views through hooks. Yeah, that's what we'll use. We'll implement a view that displays a calendar for the current year and calendar module. All right, so, but this isn't actually what I'm wanting. Group of menu items. Like, just show me how to make a page listing, the view set. No. Generic views, here we go. Generic views for handling common tasks such as creating and editing model instances and chooser modals. For convenience, these are bundled in view sets. So yeah, here we go. Hey, Pilfers, welcome. Is it done yet? Never. That's what software is never done. Art is never done. It lives and breathes a bit. So you got to keep on keeping on. That said, you can say that feature is shipped. That song is ready for sharing, uploading. Yeah, but the overall thing, and like a website, a big project, it continues. How you doing, Pilfers? It has a life cycle. But it is deployed. I mean, it is live. It's in production. So that's a milestone. You can go to our Western Friend website. Okay. Oops. We got moderated. Auto mod bots. There's nothing to break. That's true. There's very limited user capabilities on the site. It's mainly read only. And then Wagtail kind of handles most of the security and, protecting the admin interface. So yeah. There's things though, like the form, the contact form, we're getting spam submissions we're trying to get under control a little bit. And the certain latest issues, if you go to the magazine recent issues section, regular users should be prompted to like subscribe in order to read these latest issues, all of the articles. Some of them, the featured articles, you can read in full. As not as a subscriber, I'm logged in here as an admin. So okay, generic views it is. So we're gonna. I'm just gonna leave. Let's see, Wagtail. Like, well, let's just start from scratch. I'll just I'm reading the docs. And let's pick a low-hanging fruit. So if I refresh this, make sure everything's looking good. What's low-hanging fruit here? Well, we got news items. And actually, that doesn't need to be a top level thing. So let's see, generic news listing. Generic. Let me make sure I've got everything pulling down. No, hopefully not. Hopefully you're not being detained. It's just, you mean by the bot, by the admin bot or the moderator bot? There could be some lag on the stream, of course. It's a bit aggressive. All right, so now I just made sure I've got all the changes. I haven't tuned it. It's like the regular Streamlabs bot. All right, so we'll just create a branch since we're getting into the work time now, and we'll call this news. So I added a couple of bots to my workflow today. Let's see how they help. I added what's called the sorcery bot, which is kind of like GitHub Copilot, but it gives more meaningful feedback in terms of code refactoring suggestions. They have it's basically an advanced, kind of like an advanced linter in a way. It looks for code smells and does pretty significant refactorings beyond what you would get from like Rough or like a Pydantic kind of catching your types. It's like going to show you more advanced refactorings. So we'll be using that along the way. Okay. A CTF challenge. So, ooh, interesting. How does text interpolation? So you're scanning a video with text, or what does that work? How does that work? I mean, all right, so I'm not going to be working in this section. We're going to be in the news generic listing, so I'm going to only make those changes in that section. We might as well just really quick. Overt your eyes. I'm going to do something risky. Well, let me see here. No, I'm not. I'm going to run a server. I need to update my dependencies. I don't think it's necessary to do it during this pull, or I could do it as part of this pull request. All right, so the news stuff should be under news. Here it is. And defining things in Wagtail menus is done under the Wagtail hooks. And here it is, news model admin, news item model admin. And then I've got a group, which is now, it's not necessary. It's a little bit redundant. I think I can actually just, firstly just do this, whoops. Get rid of the group. And then we should see, but I think it's called like items. Huh, I don't see it. Weird. Anyway. You can add watermarks to images or videos, but the parameters pass whatever to FM. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a SQL injection attack in a way. It's like letting you execute arbitrary code to breach some data. Okay. Nice. I hope I got that sneeze silent. All right, so we've got a model. Now I'm going to register a view set. Ooh. And here we're doing views.py. And then in our wagtail hooks. So this is interesting. They're actually encouraging us to make use of views. Hey, I like this convention. In our wagtail project so far, we've had almost no views created. Got a few Django views. News item. All right, getting some help from our code buddy here, Copilot. So you can grab like environmental variables and stuff like that. That's crazy. And can you traverse the file system, or is it only in the current working directory type of a thing? All right, so we got news item view set, and ChatGPT is coming through here, and it knows that the model works. It got the body fields wrong, so that's interesting. Kind of hallucinated that. I'm not sure where it's making these up, but maybe. It doesn't seem to be correct though. All right, well, let's just remove these, couple of them. And we need to hit form fields. Let's put that here. And I kind of want to do all of the form fields. So what I need to do for all, it's a Django convention. Well, actually, I don't need to do that. The news item itself just needs to find panels, if I recall correctly. So if I go to my model, to the news item model, news item tag, news item, and then we just rename content panels to panels. All right. Coming along, and then add to admin menu false, which I think is default. Copy view enabled false. List view. I'm gonna have to take several short breaks and put my notes. There's a route that splits the whole file system with a Docker file. Wow. That's crazy. So yeah, what's the attack vector here? Copy pasta, getting somebody to copy and paste the code? Or, okay, so you're doing this, it's an attack vector on like a web service that uses FFmpeg in the background, and you can pass arbitrary parameters to it. Let me see if I didn't catch that. CTF challenge. Like how are you infiltrating like this service? Is it? Okay, the web, web form that lets users, kind of like a SQL injection, like lets users type something that is just passed directly to, the SQL engine. Very, very interesting. Always sanitize your text. And this is a hard one to perhaps, you just wouldn't pass it directly in, I suppose. All right, then we're going to do person view set. And we'll see if these were hallucinated. I don't remember the model. I haven't worked with it a little bit. There's a title, news item, teaser. Title, teaser, publication date. Title and publication date it is. And we're going to go to and then I guess you're just giving it a friendly name. And it defines admin person. Oh, so person becomes part of the URL. Yeah. And it's all, not always laziness. Sometimes it's just not realizing it, the foot guns. There's a lot of implicit knowledge built into like frameworks like Django that just kind of keeps you from making mistakes that you don't even realize are things, or even if you know it's a thing, you might not, be in that mindset. You might be just really narrowing in on some particular feature or bug you're fixing or feature you're writing. And it's really hard. It takes a lot of, abstraction and thinking at different levels. Okay, now we're going to register this with our hooks, wagtail hooks, which is over here. And I'm going to just, I have to think about this, but just comment all this out. We'll import it. Oh my gosh, where are my fingers there? I like this abstraction. This is nicer. Decoupling it a bit, the view set approach. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you got to learn to your craft, but I don't always have time to. I kind of need to move, in particular, a solo dev project. But even in my work where we have like a really big organization, we're reinventing a lot of things. We're making like mistakes that probably shouldn't be making, but it's just because it's so complex, and we're kind of operating it with some more primitive tools, and just these things are, there's foot guns out there, and my team and the guys I work with, I mean, they're just really skilled, and we kind of want to be a little bit lazy, so we're gonna to strings and hooks, register admin view set. Okay, register person view set. Nice. And now we see, oops, can I import name person view set from news views? Okay. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was me. I was thinking, not reading. There we go. Now we're good to go. So let's just do this one more time. Nice. But basically now we see these new code lenses up here. So yeah, I'm being careful, or mindless, and not reading code carefully. We got these new code lenses from Sorcery that are going to help us look for gotchas. More squiggles to pay attention to. That kind of helped me not have to think at so many levels of detail. Seriously, these squiggles help. Squiggly. All right, so now we've got that. And how should it appear? It's like, can be further customized. Icon, URL prefix, namespace, menu item. By default, the registering a model view set will not register it in a main menu item. All right, not register a main menu item. To add a menu item, set add to admin menu to true. I thought that was for this settings menu, of course. All right, so let's go ahead and refresh. Magazine, pages, community, forms, settings, help. Magazine, pages, community, library, tags, subscriptions, store, images, media, documents, news items, right there. Very cool. And we got our form. It's ready to roll. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Yeah, no, it's not always it's not black and white, and the whole library framework debate and things like that. I think they both have their place, but one of the reasons I just really like working at high levels like this Wagtail stuff and Django, it's just like really refreshing. And like Hacker News recently, there was like this trending project management project to help you manage your projects, and one of the comments was like, yeah, hackers really like to procrastinate, and writing a project management tool is like the ultimate form of procrastination. It's like avoiding meaningful work. Not really. I know somebody's gonna write those things, but when I read the repository README, it's like, yeah, we wrote a bespoke asynchronous backend framework using TypeScript that's emulated, or it's what they call it. What's it? I haven't been in the ecosystem, but what's the name of the main JavaScript backend framework? This is a can of worms here, but it's the very common one though. Express, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a asynchronous Express.js inspired TypeScript service backend framework that they wrote bespoke to write a custom, bespoke project management tool. And I was just like, man, that's just so surprising because, if you're in almost any other language like Ruby, Django, PHP, increasingly like Rust, there's just like a framework, at least for like a Node.js thing, but that's bare minimum. Express is also kind of a bare minimum in terms of, it'll serve, request response cycle type of thing. And I don't want to sell Express.js too short. What kind of batteries does it include, though? Like if you look at something like a Rails and Laravel and Django and things like that, this stuff is really saving a lot of time. So it supports middleware, lightweight and flexible. So it's a lightweight framework, yeah. And I think that JavaScript ecosystem has like, what's it called, like the meta framework type, or where it's like a word for having like just very simple framework. So these are basically like Flask and the Python thing. Getting started. API reference, but yeah. It just surprises me after our, the JavaScript ecosystem hasn't manifested or has tried, but I haven't been able to find one like that's survived very much and gotten much traction, like Sales.js. There's several of them that kind of came around that are more frameworky, what we kind of think of in Ruby on Rails type of framework with, ORM built in and some kind of helpers to do more advanced things like authentication authorization baked in there, and you can just move on and more or less write your application and not have to worry about kind of frameworky details. Which again, that's the reason I bring this up, is there's so many footguns and details in there that even a really skilled developer is going to make mistakes, and they can be really costly. SQL injection attacks, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, but I agree, it's not black or white. I'm not trying to say there's only one right way to do it. Sorry, on your CTF, are you publishing this on GitHub, or what's the challenge that you're doing? Is there anything you can share on the stream? I could check it out. So it looks like this generic view set worked. Just at least it created the listing. Really, where we go? Here we are. Let's add one. Let's see that it works. News. I think we're going to see a yellow screen any minute, because there's probably not a follow-up. Oh, cool. I can unpin after. Yeah, nice. I think there's going to be a missing screen, and I need to add a topic. Let's see if I can just create one without. Could not be created due to errors. This field is required. All right, so let's just add some body text. Heading, level 2. Text, heading. So there we go. We have a little bit. Create. Man. Yes, topics. I think we need. Now this might be one where I can do. I think there's a new Wagtail feature that lets you create them inline. Let me just double check how we were managing these. So if I go to originally the Wagtail hooks just had the news item model admin, and under our news items we have news item news index page, news item tag, news item panels, metadata, publication date, tags, topics, inline panel, news item topic is an orderable, parent item, news item, facets topic. Okay, so basically we need to just go into the facets. That'll be cool. So it's it should of course be fun, and you're gonna maybe challenge some other developers with that. Yeah, I didn't know if there's like a general or generic CTF site that you're working on. So the topics, where are we managing these? Under magazine, I think. Or no, should be just facets. Man, tags. I think we call them tags, and then. Or actually topics. We might need to reorganize the workflow a little bit. Have a facets section. HTB. Haven't heard of that. HTB. CTF. Oh, cool. Hacking CTFs. Yeah, that'd be very cool. FEMA, cybersecurity, marketplace. So they have like awards and stuff. Do they give? Hack the Box offers a thrilling and interactive way to master cybersecurity. I had a friend who was wanting to go into cybersecurity. Changed his mind though. Now he's doing 3D modeling with Blender. It's a complete different, like, that's cool. And that's the important thing. I was like, why are you, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? We did like this kind of career assessment, and he's like, cybersecurity. And I was like, cool, let's figure out how you're going to learn cybersecurity, take it step by step. We were looking into it, and he did it. He started like, you got to learn a bit about coding, a little bit about services, all these things. Cybersecurity is quite interesting and deep topic. But then like after like a month or so, we looked at the other options on this career assessment, and what somehow he was like, I want to do 3D modeling of cars. And I was like, that sounds cool. I don't know how what the future holds, but now that's just boom what we're doing. And it's kind of we're working on a little game together. So on other upcoming streams, I'll be working more on this game. He's doing the 3D assets, mostly locations and interiors and things, but he's also making a little car model. What's the name of that car brand? Oh shoot, yeah, I can't disable those. This is just talking about cybersecurity. My friend, I'm helping him do some kind of career move, transition development type thing, just finding out what his interests are. And we started with this career assessment, and he said he wanted to do cybersecurity. So we started learning it, studying it, trying to figure out what's a good roadmap to learn cybersecurity. What are the things you need? But after a couple of months, he just didn't think it was for him. He realized that he was probably interested in it because it's like sounds lucrative, and he's got a background a little bit in financial technology or something like that. Somehow though, he did some like checking in with himself. He felt more intrinsically motivated to make 3D models of cars. He really likes cars. And now he's making a 3D model of a Lada in pixel art. Too many requests. I just clicked one. So that'll be it. This Russian car manufacturer. A lot of people doing it. I think it's legit. Whatever suits you, that's really what you should be focusing in. We'll be kind of getting to this kind of level of low poly art very soon. We're just now starting to get into Blender 3D after learning the basics of Goxel, which is a voxel-based 3D modeler. So you can learn a lot of important skills here about even basics of texturing, modeling, of course, layers, exporting for game environment in our case. And now he's kind of learned all those. English isn't his first language, and he was ready to go into Blender like on day one. But I was just like, well, Blender's a bit of its own universe. I'm still a bit, I've tried learning Blender several times. It's very cool, but I realized that's just not my wheelhouse. Some people, that's their thing. My thing, if I were to look at the creative work I do, is coding and music. It's good to know that. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Well, I told this story twice. Ad breaks. I can't prevent them. I'm sorry. Basically, yeah. I'm trying to help myself and people, my friends, like learn things and do things that really we're interested in, genuinely interested in. I think there's enough voices around us through our whole upbringing and education that are like, you should do this because that, because it makes money and it's a good career and everything. Those are true. And I think you can make a living doing what you love if you just really pour yourself into it. There's a lot of risk in anything we do. But every step, of your career development is just involving learning and growing in whatever direction that you want to go, that you want to be in the near or distant future. So trying to just be supportive and affirming, and then using tools like ChatGPT and stuff to say, hey, okay, we're going to look at Blender now. What's a good way to break down this elephant, this mountain? How do we climb this? It's crazy. It's really cool though. Blender's really neat. So yeah, cybersecurity. How do you learn cybersecurity? Where do you start? What kind of skills do you need in cybersecurity? That's interesting. Cybersecurity, CTF. And you mentioned like a defensive mindset. How do you develop a defensive mindset? Cool. So, and then in terms of a game hacker, okay, cool. So when you say hacker, you kind of mean it in the traditional sense of like making stuff, getting in there, being creative, figuring stuff out, like hacking away at the keyboard, right? It's not like the malicious necessarily, black hat, white hat, gray hat type of hacker mythos that we apply. Or were you like hacking games? Like you were like funny exploits and stuff. I started off making music by cracking all my music software. Reverse engineer games and make cheats for them. Interesting. Were they typically locally running games at first? Yeah, right. How do I know when there's a ad roll? I can just kind of pause the video here. So we've got a topic now. Now I can go back to news items and I can create one. Let's add a news item. News item 1. I need to make sure my model admin thing works. And I think once I submit this form, I'm going to get an error, a yellow screen of death. Then I'll just have to fix it. I'll read the error and it'll tell me I'm missing a view or something like that, like a CRUD view. Getting paid to develop websites in PHP. Flash games. Oh man, cool. In Flash games, I guess there's client-server communication in a lot of those too. Teaser. We need a little bit of body text. A little bit of maybe a heading thing here. Just my mouse is lagging. The Mac screen multi-monitor layout thing glitches and then my mouse freaks out. And the monitor's like all resizing itself. You'll see it tweaking at the edges. Heading. And it's good to go. And we'll add a topic. I can probably improve this topic selector. There we are. Validation error. This field cannot be blank. Depth. Dang. Path. That's a problem. So this is because the wagtail content is in a tree, and every piece of content is a node in that tree. And you have to tell wagtail, it sort of should tell itself in some cases. And it does, where it is in the tree. It creates this path and the depth for you. You typically don't have to worry about that. Maybe if I move, I don't know if this is better. Let me know if this is better. At least for reading the chat, this is better. but I don't know if it blocks too much of the code. No, that should be okay. Okay, SSRF, what's that one? Server side request forgery? I'm thinking LFI. Cross-site scripting, SQL injection, LFI. I haven't heard of that one. So yeah, see, this is really special knowledge, throwing out these acronyms and stuff. Okay, so how do I tell when using a generic view? Here's the chooser. I can do that. Customization. But how? What I think is that this model view set is for very generic models. And I think there is a slightly higher level abstraction. So yeah, this is a Django DB model. So that's the problem. I'm dealing with a page model. Django DB models, yeah, they just exist anywhere in the tree. And then you define URLs for them and stuff like that. Okay, by defining views and all that. But Wagtail actually does all that for you. I just need... sort of a page view. The documentation is failing me here. The way it's organized is not intuitive. I'm trying my best. My screen is glitching again. To read this huge table of contents. I don't need a reference guide. I need a tutorial here. Quick install demo site integrating Wagtail into Django project. Homepage. Footer. Editable. Menu. Contact page. Portfolio. Page models. Writing templates. How to use images and templates. Search. Snippets. So when I go to the page model, how do I've got these page models defined years ago. I don't need to customize the templates or rendering. I need to add them to the admin. Page manager, writing templates. So yeah, this isn't what I need. Advanced topic, images, documents, icons, embedded content. Deploying performance, internationalization, private pages, customization. Maybe this will have how to do the admin menu. Editing interface, customizing the tab interface, rich text, customizing the generated forms, customizing the generated copy, custom page listings. Page listing view. That's it. Yes. Now we're cooking. So, but they're saying to do this in Wagtail hooks. Okay, well, it's a view set. I'm going to go with this convention of this page listing view set being defined in views. Okay. Wagtail admin view sets pages. And I think just by swapping this out, it's going to work. I think so. Go to the Wagtail admin. So close, so close. We're getting close. All right, now I'll read the docs. So we got the icon. I got the my app models blog page. Oh yeah, model. So model I just did first. I got the icon. Add to admin menu true. And maybe they didn't want me to do this. Let's see. But, that's right. Wait, news item view set. And it's just a listing. It's not going to give me the editing. Let's see how far it goes. Now, hopefully I don't have to define it all in hooks. But if I do, I do. That's fine. But this should be all that's necessary. Register. I should just be able to import that and return it. Magazine pages, community, library tags, subscription store, images, media documents, forms. Ah, there it is. News items. Okay, so it's missing the title. I'll just go ahead and delete these. So how do you do an SSRF vulnerability, generically speaking? What's the... how does it work? So is this like a backend for front end that's making remote requests? You know, it's like a proxied backend, or how does that one work? All right. So how do I put a title on this title? Oh, okay. So interesting. That would be really tedious to kind of probe the file system there. Guessing a bunch of directories if it's a Unix, I guess. Interesting. All right. Menu label. That's what I'm missing here. Menu label. One thing I'm missing. But it's good. It's got good autocomplete happening here. Boom. Menu item. Add news item. News. So that's awkward that we have to do that. And it's not using it's not using the panels. So that's a problem. Man, this is a bit of a learning process. Okay, so if it's like Apache 2, you'll know where. Oh man, well, I mean, that's the work. I guess that's the work of it. What? Yeah, it says. So if it's like, yeah, you can, like if it's WordPress or something, you can read their configuration files, get the database credentials, all that kind of stuff. All right, so how do I, now, I've got this model. Columns, page listing views at columns plus, plug category. The filtering options can be customized by ordering the filter set class. Interesting. Well, let's see. I probably need to, no, I probably can't right now because I need to get this at least first pull request done. Okay, yeah. But get it on, if you get it on GitHub or whatever, I'll check out usually live projects on GitHub that I can git clone. Filter set class. Blog page. Thanks, that sounds great. Yeah, check it out. And get a nice README in there too. think always of the developer experience. Even if it seems obvious, it's not always. So panels. Maybe if I just do content panels, like it was originally, it'll work. Yes, all right. But I had to guess that. So the Wagtail docs are kind of a bit disappointing today. It's getting to be such a large project. It's very difficult to document. So we will grab a topic here, topic 1, and I will publish this in C due to validation errors. All right. Missed that. Oh, but I think I see what happened here. Publish. No, it worked. View live. Yeah, we're good to go. Wow. I need to fix this. This is an error I've been getting recurringly. That should link to the topic index page. Yeah, so it's like one of those things like defensive coding, kind of second nature. You just set that up. And ChatGPT can help with those too. All right, so now we're cooking. We've got title updated. You know, that's a pretty good listing here. Let's see if this works. If they kept those conventions, and that didn't work. Okay. So it's basically learning from scratch how to define wagtail displays. All right, no worries. Columns, here we are. View set. Plus publication date. Let's see if we get that publication date on there. Huh. Did not work. Now read carefully. So I get my view set. Add this columns. You have to do it this way. Got it. Yeah, I'm not reading carefully. I mean, I kind of like it. It's probably giving them more explicit and advanced ways to componentize the user interface. Letting me write. Wow. Python, well, it generates a lot of code on my behalf, but that didn't work. What the heck? Label. Publication date. Sort key. But it's also a bit more verbose, to be honest. It's kind of not working. So I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe you have to have all those keys though. News item 1. Yeah, it's like not showing up. Huh. I'm gonna have to customize these columns. Pagesandmusic.com. Just out of curiosity, what if I just passed it the list, you know, overriding the columns? Just let me do that. Is this a matter of that I need to stop and start the server? Crazy. Pages 10, is that expected? So news items. That was the problem. Okay, so admin news items. Wagtail admin news items. News items. Okay. And then I think it was that, right? Very cool. I think we're getting close. Kind of. For example, like the publication date to be over here. Next to title. List display. It's quite complicated stuff. I'm going to be satisfied with this for now. And another thing is I'm going to want to learn how to control the add buttons and figure out how to determine publish sub items. We have some hierarchical content where I'll have like a magazine issue and I'll want to add articles underneath that issue. Will that be done through a button here? How will we work with those? Not seeing a clear path to that based on the documentation so far. I don't know if I need to do much filtering. Maybe we can let's let the editor filter by topic just to see if we can do it. All right, so I can see why this is sort of going in the wagtail hooks instead of the views, because now we're defining filter set. But this is basically still a view related component. So what we're going to do is page listing view set. We got that. We're going to say filter class filter meta fields, meta model, news item fields, blog category, and we will filter. Hopefully this will just work. I can just filter on the topic. With trailing comma, meta fields must not contain non-model field topic. Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one because it's not technically a model field. It's an inline panel to topics. Let's see if this works. So it's a relation. All right, maybe that'll work. And then I can refresh. And we have filters. That's child pages. Those were there, I guess, before. Well, I haven't done part B, I think. Filters at class. Boom. So we'll add that. Set class equals filter set. Topics. Topic 1. All right, not bad. I'll take it. It works. It's a bit ugly, but I mean, it's not super bad. We're not a multi-site deployment, so that's kind of unfortunate. It has child pages. Some of these I'd like to configure a bit. For this listing, we don't need all of these filters. Customizing admin templates, but I think this is good. Now we're on to a new topic. So yeah, it's a bit challenging to work this kind of refactoring based on the changes they've introduced, I think largely in Wagtail 6. It feels like I'm learning, Wagtail again from scratch almost. These are pretty big changes, and the documentation is there, but it's kind of scattered, and I think it's missing some details, quite important ones, like how to just override this filter. So if I want to remove like the site filtration or editing, like how do I just override that? It's probably there. But I think this is good enough for a change set. So let me double check, see if there's any suggestions we get from our code helper sorcery. Nothing nothing stands out as being refactored. Most of this is pretty declarative code. It's just like model definitions and things. All right, I should probably go and eat dinner. This is interesting. Oh, never mind. So. Just trying to think for a moment from a user perspective if this is going to be sufficient for managing. Yeah, and the other thing is like, how do I get a little more control over the ordering of these fields? Like, what is this called? This little meta thing here. How do I customize that? How do I find the documentation about customizing that? Branding, fonts. How do I disable multi-site? Like, in other words, it's inherently multi-site, but in our deployment, we're a single site. Well, I don't want that information to leak into the user interface that Wagtail supports multi-site. And I may have read this one pretty closely. Now, I didn't read the reference docs, so that's what we can next check out. Page listing view set. Model index view class. Choose parent view class. I wonder if I can just automatically choose the parent. Go to bulk actions. Okay, by default, here's the default columns: title, latest revision, and status. So what if I do that? Page. Column title, column bulk actions. Oh, man. Oh, come on, get off my screen. Let's see if this works. title, publication date, bulk actions. Almost. That's a little bit of a special thing. So maybe if I import these classes though. Wagtail admin UI tables pages, Wagtail admin tables. Import bulk actions column, page title column. Page status column, yeah. All right, let's try that. And then instead of column, instead of the generic column, we will do the appropriate. Let's just see if these two work. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, so whatever these are, they're part of the title column, it seems. And then bulk actions. Yes, this is something Mary's been asking for. Move, publish, and publish. Yeah, very good, very good. All right, we're getting pretty close. I think these little details, like where this is off baseline, is going to be annoying, but okay. Hey, but wait. Date column. Well, let me make these alphabetical. Oh, but wait. Wagtail admin UI tables. Shadowing that. Let's see. Maybe it's over. Oh, and you hover over, you get it. Okay. Still the baseline is off. Then why is that? I'm just going to put these in there. Plus that and just see if by default it looks like that anyway. No, see, this looks much better. Yeah, so I'm back here. Where's admin view sets? So this default one looks good. Didn't save. Now I save and want to refresh it with basically the same fields. Status. It just doesn't look good. As good. It's not bad. It's not bad. now we're not using that anymore. Anyway, let's go with it. It is an overall improvement, getting up first just in line with the wagtail core direction, and the usability improvements and everything else that's going to come out of these. There's some little minor irritations. And there's some things I'm going to need to learn if I'm going to be able to do more advanced sections of our site that have hierarchical content, like issues that contain articles. I don't know how that's going to work. These are just pretty flat. They all have a parent page, which is kind of one of the other weird things, that I have to choose a page when essentially there's only one parent page. There's only one instance of news index page, so I'm wondering if there's a way. And why I didn't have to do that before. I wonder if there's a way to automatically specify that. Sidebar content panel, interesting. And the other thing I could take a look at and possibly include in this pull request would be the chooser for topic. That might be on this page. This is customizing the tabs. There was a chooser under advanced topics. Can I disable multi-site? It was like custom or generic views. I think it was generic views. Well, like view sets. We'll go there to the reference view sets. And generic views. Okay, so multi-site is just a way I can disable it so it doesn't appear in the website. Not a big deal. All right, so we've got a view set. URL prefix view set group model view set. Here we are. Form field excludes. Choose review set. Here we are. Person choose review set. I think if I make a topic just here, so it's under the model level where when I'm specifying the content panels, I'll use a widget. So I got to go through a few layers of abstraction. But this is cool, it lets you do them in line. Interesting. So these topics are defined under facets. And they're saying I should probably do this under views.py. Which I haven't been using. Choose a review set. And they're giving hints on about circular imports. What we're doing is all right. It's up there. Let me just. Do that. Again, this can be registered with the wagtail admin view set. So we go to the wagtail hooks. Topic choose a review set. There, I got that. And then we go to our model. This is where the docs kind of could just take me that next step, but then I have to go into a subsection of the document that's not quite relevant in order to see how to register this with the model. Okay, so it's not so linear. News item. What we'll need, field panel widget. So person chooser. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. From views, from wonder if I can just do this. This should work. Widget class. Do I have to instantiate it? No, probably not. So if it has a field panel already for the topics in line panel, if I switch it to a field panel where topics is the foreign key, it'll automatically use its chooser interface. Okay, so I might not need to import that here. Interesting. Create a news item. So choose. Oh, shoot. And got some errors. Don't need that. I just need to look. We had our view set definition. It has this thing label news item Quakers. Oh, dude, that's a good one. Need a Quaker chef. They use the spices. Very cool. I'll have to share that one. Oh, okay, so it just doesn't need this. This is probably the issue. Yes, exactly. That was a good one. Yeah, it's not a foreign key field. It's not a foreign key field because it's the reverse. I didn't commit those other changes. I'm going too far. I'm not committing often enough. Gotta roll this back. I don't know why I didn't commit that earlier. I'm just having an off day, a little bit of an off day. So we're going to commit these real quick. And then, so I can't rely just on the default field panel because it's not technically a foreign key. right? So what do I use instead, I wonder? I think the only reason I did news item topic like this was so I could have it be orderable. Oh, yeah. Huh. It won't work. It won't work. There's our foreign key, though. When I go to topics, yeah. Let me just revert that. Whoa, wrong button. So this is where the foreign key is. Reload that. Then this needs to be. That's in the next page. That was good. Wait a minute. Getting so tired. I'm running on only a few hours of sleep. Yeah, just needed to reload. Now, add topic. This should use my little chooser. Yes, it worked. It worked. Oh, nice. You can create one. Oh, victory. It worked. Except this crap. Oh, man. This is because they're wagtail page models, because I wanted them to have auto-created views, URL routes, all that stuff. And in order to create an instance, it has to put itself in the wagtail tree. And this is derived at the time it's created, all three of these. In fact, all of these fields are derived when it's created. Some of these I didn't recognize. And they're required, so it won't let me create one without those. Form fields would be title. That's it, basically. Let's try it again. Let's see if it lets me do it. Maybe it will. I don't think it will, though. I mean, that'll work. Yeah. Path cannot be blank. Depth cannot be blank. Yeah. Well, we're getting closer. At least it's a different error. And I mean, I like this interface. I want this to work. I mean, it's good. It's really good. Locale is not really necessary, but okay. So these details, they're nice to have, but if you don't have a website that's multilingual, it's just a bit. Another ad. All right. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry, another joke on the screen. Let me know when you're back, Bill, first. I'll read the joke. So it needs to be a page listing view set. That's not going to work. To define a custom page listing, create a subclass of page listing view set and register using the register. That's where we're at. Globe, menu, blog, page listing view set. And okay. I will do that in a moment when I refactor that section of it. We will have facets view sets for all of these. All right, Pilfer's got another joke here. Went down to a Quaker Shaker Wikipedia rabbit hole just now. Oh, okay, all right, another joke. Lived near the last Shaker village in the U.S., which has 2 people left. They're apparently entire celibate, which kind of explains the 2 people thing. Yeah, that is a problem with the Shakers, yeah. Even Quakers who aren't celibate have, like, difficulties as the Quaker population ages, kind of bringing in younger generations into the fold. Maybe it's a bit of a mindset also. Like, I'm not what's called like a birthright Quaker. I found out about Quakerism sort of in my late 20s. Yeah. Indirectly, but I was kind of led into it through happenstance. All right, so now we got the view set. We've registered it. Reload the page. I mean, this isn't altogether bad, but I've lost the thread. Custom page listings are a way to present flat lists of all pages in a given type, accessed from a menu item. But yeah, choose review set is a specific thing. And it won't let me do the page listing, and we'll still have the issues where I can't get the create one to work. Damn. Let's see if I can just disable the create and edit and just be good, call it good. I think I had to restart the server for this one. And maybe just reload the page. Just add topic. Choose a topic. Here's a new one, and yeah, you can't edit it. So I like this. It's a little bit cleaner. At least it's putting us in the direction, again, of using a custom view set. I'll take the next step after this, but we're looking at, it's been about 2 hours, so kind of not the super most action-packed hours, but that's just the way the code crumbles. You got to do it, break it down a little bit at a time. So add topic chooser. And I will clean this up. I will mention though that I want to I'm a bit too tired right now to go to Stack Overflow and create an issue for this, so I'll just leave the comment in place. And call it good. Now I'm going to open a pull request, and I've got a new helper installed as I mentioned at the beginning here. This sorcery. It's free for open source projects. Quite expensive for non-open projects. $30 per user per month. Maybe it's justifiable in a larger organization. But I'm hoping it's going to provide me a little bit higher level of feedback than normally like a linter would. It's sort of an advanced linter, as I mentioned before. And I might just do this Wagtail 6.1 update. Yeah, I might as well update the dependencies as part of this one. Just a couple of dependency updates. All right, let's get this pull request rolling and see what happens when the CI runs. Code quality, Codicy, Sonar Clouds helping me keep track of like security issues, CodeQL, test coverage. Doesn't look like the sorcery got added to it, unfortunately. All right. There's our Wagtail update. Those keep getting added. Sorcery is there. They've reviewed the changes. They look great. Here's what I looked at. General issues. 5 issues found. Security looks good. Testing looks good. Complexity looks good. Free for open source. If you like our reviews, please consider sharing them. Very good. And it's showing me to vote up. That's a good one. Consider importing only necessary components. Yep, that's a good one. I just wasn't paying attention there. And that's a lint thing that should have gotten caught. Instead of importing multiple components from Wagtail pages, consider importing only the ones you need. This can improve readability and reduce the import overhead. But why is it separating it out? I mean, I don't agree with that. I think you can do multiple imports on a single line. What is this? Newsviews.py. As long as I'm using them all. This is newsviews.py. I'm using them all. So this is actually not a good one. Hey, Dr. Unafraid, welcome. How are you doing? So didn't quite know that I'm actually using all three of those. Somehow the AI tool didn't pick up that detail. My linter does. My linter knows it. So my linter would have caught that. Consider adding more fields to the filter set. Currently, the filters only included topics. Yeah, and in this case, it doesn't really have much. It doesn't know much about the views model. Oh, cool. They're there in the code. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. A little bit tired. It's been a long day. Took the train round trip kind of far and didn't get much sleep last night, but I'm trying to do some work on Western Friend a little bit. Clean up the site. So this is good feedback, but it's not quite relevant, so I won't commit that. These are generated by large language models, so it's a little different than the linter, though. It's like an advanced linter. Adding a doc string to the class. News item review set can help other developers. Yeah, that could be a good one, actually. Listing and retrieving other view set instances. So I like doc strings. And selecting. Yeah, I've been working on the Western Friend project for about a little over 5 years. And yeah, I might switch over to some music production here in a minute. I'll just swap the stream and take a quick break. But yeah, we're in production now. The site's online. Address the to-do comment. So yeah, these suggestions from Sorcery aren't super actionable, I suppose. I'm just gonna undo that one, but I'll update the dependencies. It only lets me give it positive or negative ones, but yeah, I guess they're listing up or down. Now, it doesn't realize the context. It's missing a lot of the context, that this is actually what comes in the URL. This variable in Python is already descriptive, like it's suggesting name news items. This is clear, but a more descriptive name could be, it's sort of saying the same thing, that news item view set, and it's telling me to change it to news item view set instead of news items. Weird. But it doesn't understand how this string is used. All right. Quite busy the last month and a half. Tournament. Okay. Yeah, were you competing in the tournament, or were you kind of doing some like esports commentary type stuff? How are you participating in the tournament? All right, so we've got some dependency updates. Quality gates are passed. I may end up disabling the Sorcery AI if it's, we'll see how the feedback it gives me goes. I mean, you know, I can ignore these comments, of course. Okay, cool. So you're publishing them to your YouTube channel? Where are you putting the videos? I'll be doing a little bit of game dev as well on this stream, kind of transitioning out of the Django and Wagtail development into some Godot game development. I think you were hanging out with me when we were doing that the other day. But still, the Western Friend site needs some little improvements, and there's some changes that were made to Wagtail recently, including some bug fixes that I'm now updating the dependencies. So we're trying to kind of get ourselves on the, keep your dependencies fresh, get aligned with the changing conventions in the code, things like that. Oh yeah, Pilfers, you were away. I didn't realize. It's all good. Let's see if I can do something real quick. So I would sort of like to open the thread on Stack Overflow. But I haven't been on there in a bit. Let me just log in. Oh. All right. So there were just a couple of sort of issues I came into encountered, and I can't quite remember them now. But Wagtail. Let me use ChatGPT to tell me you're right. So one is on our new page listing. So yeah, if you want to check out the code we wrote today, I'll link it. I'll do a summary. I'll break down everything we did today in an outro video. So I'm going to leave this up. So we created a new page listing. When I create a new item, it wants me to select a parent page. So this is where I can use some Stack Overflow. But I don't want to type. The ChatGPT is now available for Mac. Oh, if I can just use that without typing, if it's got voice input, I'll be glad. I'll be grateful for that. Yeah, ChatGPT 4.0 is pretty fast and pretty good, I think. I haven't really tested it thoroughly, but I do like the voice chat. I've been using the Sky voice for a while now, for several months, I think, and yeah, I understand there's some controversy over the Sky voice, and they've pulled her voice, and I think I used it because it sounded like Scarlett Johansson. I liked the voice when I picked it, and then I learned and I read the press release or her statement that they basically cloned her voice from a voice actress who sounded like her and without her permission and things like that. So yeah. Yeah, let's check the voice option here in the ChatGPT. Opening it. And so now I'll have to figure out what voice I can use and how to use my own voice to input in the model, because I'm kind of tired of typing. And I think that's the kind of killer feature, so to speak, of the interfaces. Introducing the launcher. Use the launcher to instantly ask ChatGPT anything, no matter what you're doing. You can upload files, take a screenshot, take a photo. Option space. to open the launcher. Option space. Ooh. Okay, but you have to type. You have to type. At least in the launcher. Okay. Come on. Hope it'll work with my voice, at least locally. So this is good. Excellent. So we'll try ChatGPT 4. What do you think? So let's see what I've done and how to describe this. I've been working in the Wagtail CMS and have added a Wagtail 6.1 page listing view set to list news items, to list essentially Wagtail page instances. Everything is working correctly, but when I click the button to create from the page listing, when I click the button to create a new news item based on my Wagtail model instance, it wants me to choose the parent page. This is a behavior of the Wagtail CMS page model being a hierarchical model, so every page has to have a parent. However, in my setup, we have only one instance called a news index page. It can only have one index, one instance of that. And I don't want to have to select that every time I create a new news item. I want it to be automatically selected to save the user an extra click. I'm not sure how to do that, and the Wagtail documents don't mention the steps involved in setting the parent page automatically. So I would like to open a Stack Overflow question. Can you help me write a Stack Overflow question describing this problem? And I can provide the relevant code snippet for my news item view set definition. Yeah, that's true. The mobile browser, in the mobile app has the chat. This is pretty good. So I'll read it aloud anyway. How to automatically select a parent page when creating a new page in Wagtail 6.1. I'm working with Wagtail CMS 6.1 and have implemented a view set to list news items, which are instances of Wagtail page model, or inheriting from Wagtail page model. Everything functions correctly, but when I click the button to create a new news item, Wagtail prompts me to choose the parent page. Given that I only have one news index page, I want to avoid having to select this parent page manually each time a new news item is created. The parent page should be automatically selected. Here's the relevant code snippet. So I got that. I've tried. No, I didn't try that. I should have asked how to do it. Maybe wait. I already knows it. That's funny. I should have thought of that first. First ask ChatGPT how to do it, then go to Stack Overflow. But I've just had such a good experience with Wagtail on Stack Overflow. Getting great responses and very friendly, helpful responses. I just thought I would turn there first. Well, let's try this code. Interesting. All right, so this would be under our views.py as well. I mean, it's super helpful. It did exactly what I asked for. And more. From Wagtail admin pages. Admin views pages. So, but, is this correct? I don't think this is correct. It's going to be in the ballpark, though. Anyway, that's not what I was after. Okay, let's try it though. Let's just see what this looks like. It could be a hallucination, you know? Like, firstly, the import doesn't work, so that's a bad sign. You know, in Wagtail 6.0, 6.1, it's pretty new, so I don't expect it to be within the training set. Ah, darn, I got excited. But if I go back to, I'm getting tired here. Page listing view set documentation. I misspoke. Wagtail's been out for like at least 7 years. Yeah, it's been around for a bit. Now, part of the problem is like most of the hype is around like new things like JavaScript-y stuff. Stuff like Django and Wagtail is not super hype cycle. It's like slow and stable and steady and has like longevity, and that's not so super exciting, is it? But if we go to Insights, I can check real quick. Wagtail's been around since 2014, about, as long as I've been in Finland. Interesting. Yeah, good stuff. All right, I'm getting kind of hungry, but I'm gonna try this. I'll ask the question though. At least we have the question. Yeah, it's mature. It's been around and it's continually improving, like big time. Which is kind of why I'm working on this today. They made some really big changes and overall improvements. I just need to figure out how they work. So when I register my admin view set, this page listing view set, I think in this case I will add a Stack Overflow question. I wanted to do due diligence and look in the docs. So I've got a view set. And I'm here, custom page listings. I'm reading this, and this links to that, and that links to this. I register it. And specify the columns. I customized those. Specified the filter. I customized that. I think the page view set thing extends from this generic base view set. I can verify that page listing view set extends view set. So it gets everything here. URL prefix, namespace, register, URL patterns, URL name, icon, menu label, menu name, menu order, menu URL, menu item class, menu hook, add to admin menu, get menu item. and let's view the docs. So you get the view set, get URL patterns, register it. You can combine them into a view set group. Then you get generic views. Edit handler and attribute on the model view set of your Django. Neither panels nor edit handlers defined. So I'm wondering if the get parent class or get parent page, where to specify it. Get edit handler. So you can limit the choices. And we have a model. You can pull in data from APIs and stuff. It's really powerful and flexible. But at this point, I'm so tired, and I think I'm not going to have any opening. So I'm going to just take our little output from GPT and modify. I don't use just the thing directly without reading it, of course. All right, let's see here. So where did I put the GPT? Next, okay. Which inherit from the Wagtail page model. Everything's functions correctly, but when I click the button to create a new news item, Wagtail prompts me to choose the parent page. Given that I only have one news index page, I want to avoid having to select this parent page manually each time. Yeah, it's looking good, and I'll just get the relevant snippets here. Let me give the news item. And with code snippets, can you specify the programming language, or does it just kind of determine that at runtime? News item index page. Or news index page. The key here is that we define subpage types. and max count equals 1. And I think we've got this reversed, that parent page type on the news items is only allowed to be under the news and next page. So it's defined both ways. This is the key. We've constrained the data model. Okay, hey, thanks for stopping by, Dr. Unafraid. Glad to see you. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into a regular cycle. Yeah. So, yeah, probably tomorrow, a little bit earlier than this time. So, see you around. And looking forward to checking out your YouTube videos. Send me a link to the ones from the competition. I'll check them out. Maybe I can. Can you include a screenshot in Stack Overflow? Okay, cool. Sounds good. Hopefully it won't be too late. Don't want to keep you up and make you tired the next day. Sorry, I couldn't get off the mic before I sneezed. Yeah, you can share it in the Discord group or DM. That's fine. Yeah, let's revive the Discord group a little bit too. It's good suggestion. So that's my question. I hope this is well formatted enough and everyone's happy. Or can I just... That's what I tried. Got that. Wagtail 1.1. This could still be relevant. But might be that the answer's too far out of date. I can't create the page. I can't hook after the page. I need to do it before. Let me see here. I think it's outdated. I think I'll post. They don't seem. I think I've done due diligence here. Version 1 body, got it. Just start me with the body. Post. I'm not a robot. But, you know, it's getting harder to tell. Not bad. I think that's about the only sort of improvement I'll write today. What was the to-do I wrote? I forgot about that. And this is you can get rid of that. Got a bunch of to-dos, don't I? I want to save. Discard. Don't save it. Check my pull request. What was the to-do? I will open this one. I will open this one. Yeah. All right. Let's search for Wagtail get parent page. Yeah, and this is a method on the page model, but the instance has to be created. So that was just a hallucination, to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see. I will leave. I'll close this, and that's mine that I just created. Yeah, see, it's not skipping that. Copy link. Yeah, maybe there's something about the page listing view set that's different. Maybe my local database has multiple instances of the news index page, but it shouldn't. That would be possible. Yeah, all right, now we're good. I think we're good. I've linked it together. So the other issue was that I need to I needed to define another Stack Overflow question similar to the one above, but for a different part of Wagtail. I've defined topics that can be applied to content, such as news items. These topics inherit from the Wagtail page model, which allows me to build topic listing pages. Wagtail 6, and maybe earlier, it allows me to define chooser view sets, which can be automatically used when selecting foreign key items, such as a news item topic, to populate a modal dialog with existing instances from the database. In our case, there will be topics. I've defined a topic chooser view set with the appropriate metadata. One of the features of the chooser view set is it also allows you to create new instances of the content type that you're choosing, in our case, topics. However, since the topics are inheriting from the Wagtail page model, which inherits from Django Treebeard, there are some metadata fields that the user doesn't typically see relating to where the page is located within the Treebeard tree model, such as depth, I think was one of the fields, and I can't remember the other one. Those fields, though, relating to the position in the Django Treebeard model should automatically be populated upon creating a topic. The user shouldn't have to worry about that. However, we have a similar issue that the topic needs a parent page instance to be selected in order to go into the Wagtail tree. And the chooser view set doesn't seem to automatically allow you to choose the parent page. So this is almost a duplicate of the previous issue on Stack Overflow that I opened, but it's slightly different because the context is about the chooser view set, how to automatically specify the parent page when creating a new instance via the chooser view set. Let's see if this get parent page works for the chooser view set. Maybe it just will. I can also try this with ChatGPT 4. So you can select the chooser view set, chosen, create view class, creation form mix in. So that might be a good base widget class. So I'm thinking this create view, mix in creation form, mix in dispatch, get, save, form, post. So yeah, that mix in handles mostly the sort of the HTTP traffic. Creation form mixing, because it's a view. Okay. Form class for new object. Creation form class, form fields, exclude from fields, creation. Form field, creation type is, sorry. Permission policy, get permission policy. Can create, get creation form class. These are like a get parent. That would be super, super cool. Get creation form, get create URL. Yeah, similar. I think this is worth opening its own Stack Overflow. And let's see what, just out of curiosity, what GPT-4 will do with it. I'm using Wagtail 6 for my CMS and have implemented a feature where topics inherited from the Wagtail page tree model are associated with news items. Topics, being part of a hierarchical structure due to Django treebeard model, require a parent page to be defined. Here's a scenario in the admin interface. Sort of like the 4.0 better. Interesting. I lost it now. Interesting. I like this style better. We'll ask it in another window, and automatically specify parent page when creating new page instances via choose review set in Wagtail 6x. I'm working with Wagtail CMS 6.1. I've implemented a topic chooser view set to allow me to select and create topics that are applied to content such as news items. These topics inherit from the Wagtail page model, enabling the creation of topic listing pages. An issue arises when creating a new topic with the chooser view set model. Since topics are Wagtail pages, they require a parent page to be specified within the treebeard hierarchical model. However, I want to manually avoid selecting the parent page each time the new topic is created, and instead have it automatically assigned a predefined parent page. That's essentially the goal. This is very similar. How can I ensure that the parent page is automatically specified when creating a new topic via the chooser view set, thus saving the user from, and you can't actually manually choose it. I'll try to get a screenshot of this one. The problem being, I've changed the code again. And I threw it away. So, bring up VS Code. Yeah, actually, that's all I needed to change, I think. And then topic. Let's try one more time. Might have to restart it when I do that. Choose a topic. Huh. I have to reload the page also. Add topic. Choose a topic. Oh man, what the heck? I'll just put none. That's the problem. The problem is it'll throw a 500 error. But yeah, so let's just read. Okay, I'm gonna get the screenshot of this first. Get that. Boom. Save that. Save that. Come on, save it. Save. Why won't what thing save? File. Save. Writing something other than Command S. Create path and depth. They're already annotated. I think I can just. Facets, models. Server error that path and depth are required. How can I automatically specify? Hey, this is mine. They're so similar. This is the page listing view set. Then we've got a chooser view set. They're both view sets. There's probably a common base. I don't know the internal architecture of Wagtail enough. The view set, though, is a kind of a hint. But the behavior is pretty distinct. And I'm at far enough a level of abstraction that I think that I'll open both of these issues, these questions. I'll link to them. I'll link them to one another at least. But the solutions might be different. So I'll put this in my source control. Did I merge this pull request? Not yet. Good. So I have a little to do here. All right, now we're at 3 hours. Good golly. Just goes fast. All right, let's do a recap. I think it's a good habit to get in. So let me get kernel Stack Overflow questions. Nice. So we're going to news items. Hello, welcome to a recap of today's live code hangout. Today we've been working on the Western Friend website. You can find the source code at github.com/westernfriend and under the westernfriend.org project. I'm working on an enhancement. We've recently upgraded to Wagtail 6, actually 6.1, and they've introduced some new features called generic listings. And they are essentially a replacement for the previous Wagtail model admin class. I think that was the name of it. That's been moved out of core and into a third-party module, contributed module, which may or may not continue to be maintained or receive the great enhancements that are going into the Wagtail core. So we want to get on board with the Wagtail core way of doing things. We had to wait a little bit because some of our content is hierarchical. Some of it is generic Django views, and there just weren't, some of the use cases haven't been covered yet, I'm thinking. Anyway, today I started on kind of a low-hanging fruit, just to a very simple use case so I could understand how these new page listings work. So let's take a quick look at the code. There were two main changes I made today. The first was to define page listing view sets, which look like this. These are very similar to the Wagtail model admin. They allow you to define menu items that can be nested. We have just a menu item at the top level here. When you click it, you get this view set, which is just like a table listing all of the attributes from the content that you choose. You can define these columns here. Here we can see bulk actions that you can do, the page publication status, the date, which is a dynamic field, and some actions under this little ellipsis here, as well as the page title. That takes you to the form that's auto-generated by Wagtail based on the page content panels. So none of this really changed. We'll come back to this topics in just a moment, but essentially this is the new listing. It's a little bit different than this model admin listing, which is the old way of doing things, add tag here. So we're looking only at news items today. It's add news item. The layout's changed. You've got filters up here, and I'm able to filter on various facets, you could say. This is all automatically generated by the Wagtail CMS without me having really to write many lines of code, which is why we want to stick very close to the core. So let's take a quick look at the code. And there were some things that I left open today. But essentially a page listing view set straight from the documentation. I would say the documentation for this is pretty thorough. It's got some gaps, which hence my Stack Overflow questions. And I did read not only the reference material, but these sort of general guidelines. A tutorial would have helped. There's 4 quadrants of the types of documentation you should write. They have the reference pretty well done, and some generic instructions are fairly good. Essentially, you say what it should look like in the menu, the text, and that it should be added to the menu, and then what model you're rendering here. Which ours is a page listing view set, and so it's going to be a model you define that inherits from the Wagtail core page model. Then you have a hook, register admin view set, and it essentially returns an instance of your view set. So they're doing everything in Wagtail hooks.py. In our code, I did it in views.py, and then we also have Wagtail hooks over here. So I'll just hop over to the GitHub interface. Maybe it's a little easier to review the code. And I've got a to-do here, but we've got our, and a couple of things. So what we're looking at here is our, let's put that to the side, boom, and this over here. Our news item view set. It takes the model news item and then the label here, news items. And we just have some generic icon there, and it's visible in the menu. And then I've customized the layout here. So I wanted to show the page title. So there are specific widgets for these Wagtail to know how to render some of these more advanced behaviors like the bulk actions tool, for example, or how to properly render the date format and things like that. So I didn't have to write any lines of code. I just kind of used the proper class name in our column definitions. So page title column, date column, page status column, and bulk actions column. And when you click a bulk action, when you have one selected, it gives you these little bulk actions down here. Then we instantiated it. So once I've got the instantiated view set, I can import that, which I did here in the hooks. That's in the facets hook, sorry. So our previous code where I was defining the whole menu and model admin, which we're now deprecating, we're getting this model admin out of our project, reduced down to this. You register the admin view set hook that returns the instance that I've imported over here. Pretty straightforward. The other detail up here is the filter set class, and that's what gives me these filters up here. And by default, it includes date updated, owner, edited by site, and has child pages. I'm going to ask in another Stack Overflow issue how to disable or how to customize this filter set to remove like the multi-site one, which we're not using. Wagtail comes with multi-site built in, so you can host dozens of sites from a single Wagtail instance having the same functionality. This is pretty cool. It's probably inspired by WordPress multi-site, but we only have the one site on my local host as well as our deployment, so it's kind of redundant. It's confusing to the end user. And then I added a topic filter to define a custom filter. It's pretty straightforward. I think we're up here. Where are we at? Yeah, I was already there. You just inherit, you build a class inheriting from the page listing view set filter set class. This is a kind of dynamic way of retrieving that. You define the meta, you tell it what model it is, and then what fields you want to facet or filter. This is a foreign key field and relates to multiple topics. And everything is handled by Wagtail though, once I've got the models set up. And again, you can check out our code on GitHub so you can see the whole project. I'm just showing the changes today. We've been working on this project for about 5 years. All right, now let's take one more look at one more feature we did today. And that's the topic chooser. Wagtail 6, I think, has this new chooser view set. I don't know when it was introduced, but I've introduced it to the project here. That gives you a nice interface to search and filter, even with locale selection, related content to choose, foreign key related content. It's just a bit of an improvement over the previous inline that we were using to select, and it's going to be maintained. It's Wagtail core, so I wanted to use it. One of the features it includes is the ability to create and edit the items, which is the main feature I want to add here. The search interface is already really nice. I've only got one topic, so it's not really going to do much, but it would narrow it down. You could have dozens or hundreds, of related options, and it'll narrow it down. And I've got the code commented out to allow us to create it, because in our project, these topics are modeled as Wagtail pages, and Wagtail pages are part of a hierarchical content model. So every page instance has to have a parent, has to be located in this tree. It's coming from Django Treebeard. However, when I click this button to choose a topic, and then I clicked the create topic button here, it would render this form, and is asking for a couple of pieces of required data. The path to this in the page tree, the depth in the tree, and the number of children that this has. These are all tree-related metadata. The user never enters these. These are automatically populated when you create an instance and you place it in the Wagtail tree. But in order to do that, you have to select a parent. And the thing is, we don't select parents for these. We have one parent class called topic index page, and all of our topics are defined out there. It can only have one instance of the topic index page, and anytime we create a topic, it goes under that. So our users don't ever think about that. It's kind of like a filing cabinet in a way. We constrain it based on these subpage types and parent page type constraints that are part of the Wagtail page model. And you can say their topics can't have any subtopics, for example. You could do that with an empty list. So yeah, when I uncomment these, when I say, uncomment this one, exclude form fields, it renders this create tab, allowing me to do it, but I need a way to automatically populate that. So I created this Stack Overflow question. We'll see if we get a response on that, because that would be really convenient. If not in this case, in other cases where we'll be repeating this pattern as we deprecate the Wagtail model admin and move towards these generic views. Now, granted, these generic view sets and chooser view sets, these are, I think, both new in Wagtail 6x, and now we're in 6.1, and they have a roadmap of incrementally improving these, and I think they're sharing a common code base. So that this is a new architectural pattern and a new feature in a way that isn't fully fledged, and that's just kind of the nature of software. So I don't. I understand this not being maybe supporting some of the use cases that we've developed in our project. Also, I've got to admit, I don't really understand it well. They're new features, so I'm learning a lot. Maybe there's a simple way to achieve this question and another one that I opened today. So there's that. The third facet here is that the documentation, I read the documentation over and over and very thoroughly, didn't quite, describe, it didn't allude to this particular use case. And I guess the fourth thing is that since maybe it's not well documented and this is a new release, these large language models, ChatGPT, for example, and other tools like Copilot, they don't have this information in their sort of knowledge graph or their latent knowledge, compression model, the compressed knowledge space. So it wasn't really, it was hallucinating, not really giving me useful answers. You can see all that in the stream, which was about just under 3 hours of working on this and writing these Stack Overflow questions. But overall, it was productive and we made some progress, and I've got this pull request here that I think is just ready to merge, and then I've linked it to our Stack Overflow question so I can circle back around on this user experience improvement. So this has been another, and I did a little bit of dependency updates in the same pull request since I'm a solo developer and I just want to keep things up to date as we go. This has been another live code hangout, Code with Brylie. Been working on the westernfriend.org website, Wagtail CMS. We're also going to be looking at some game development with Godot, an educational game we're working on. So stay tuned for that. And let me know if you've got any kind of projects you're working on or questions or ideas you want to build. We can chat about those and maybe do some collaboration on GitHub. Okay, thanks for your time and have a great day.